Despite it feeling like winter out there, Lloydminster is getting ready for the annual spring auction. This year's sale will take place at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Centre on April 14th, where there will be a variety of items for purchase, including some bigger pieces like stoves and desks.
There's items that come in from a variety of sources. There's bicycles and vehicles and various power tools and hand tools.
The city has partnered with the Lloydminster Public School Division with proceeds from the auction going back to the division and the city.
The funds that are generated as a result of the sale, of course, the auctioneer has to be paid, and from that we send it back into general revenues, and it goes to help offset capital.
Doors open at 9 a.m. with the auction starting at 10. Welcome back. A local artist is sharing her personal parenting stories in a new series of artwork. Ryan Craig shows us inside the gallery and the emotions behind the work.
Yeah, which one are you going to be?
Brandy Hofer is a teacher and an artist, but most importantly, a parent. And she and her firstborn son, Gus, created something very special together.
It's mostly the work is about motherhood, parenthood, the struggle that being a parent takes, and relishing in time with your children.
Gus, an art series created by mother and son, is a collection of 44 paintings done together by Brandy and Gus.
He got really interested in painting and helping me, and so I decided to bring in some things that he liked as well, like monster trucks and race cars, and he got really involved, and I thought I could really do something with this.
The underlying stories behind the gallery are not all happy. Brandy lost her own mother in 2014.
It was extremely shocking to become a mother and lose your mother at the same time, and it really made me grasp how precious time is.
The showcase at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre is being hosted by the Collective Art Market, a local gallery and boutique store owned and run by 3 Lloydminster area artists.
We're really proud with the Collective Art Market to partner with the Lloydminster Cultural Science Centre to bring this exhibit to Lloydminster. It was previously shown in Red Deer and is on its way to Saskatoon, so we're very privileged to have it locally.
Most of the individuals in the paintings are local parents who had volunteered, bringing a number of messages and meanings for each different person who sees the artwork. One of the messages at the forefront of the whole collection is the importance of bringing art to the younger generation.
When I took Gus into my art studio, I noticed that he gained a lot of confidence and he had a lot more focus. And from a standpoint of a mother and seeing a 2-year-old focused is a huge milestone.
The youth needs to be exposed to a wide variety of art, and the schools do a good job of the art history part, but to actually see what the local artists are doing is super important, because then it's real, it's right in front of them.
The show will run until April 28th. Ryan Craig, Newcap News.
Well, homegrown talent is taking center stage on Friday evening. Local musician Sam Lundell is launching the first single from his forthcoming album.
I Do is one of the most personal songs for me on my upcoming record, and I think the only love song, because it's the only love story that I have. It's about my wife, Melissa, and my journey, starting from when we met to when we got engaged and then when we got married.
The song is the real-life story of Sam's marriage, told through a simple, no-nonsense pop tune. Lundell, who plays 5 instruments and also learned to dance in Lloydminster, is completing a full-length album.
The album is really a collection of stories. That was the biggest thing to me as I was writing it, was I wanted to tell stories, fictional, non-fiction, songs about my life, songs about other people's life, but just good stories that were compelling and that I thought needed to be told for one reason or another.
Sam Lundell is in concert at My Victory Auditorium just east of Wilton Fire Hall on 12th Street, starting at 8 o'clock Friday evening. The 9-track album will be released later this summer. Well, Easter has passed, but the impulse to buy discounted chocolate remains, keeping up the sugary pressure on your teeth. However, there are a few strategies you can add to simply watching your consumption. Josh Ryan has more in this week's Healthy Living.
Most of us are aware of the sugar we consume every Easter or Christmas, but the effect chocolate has on oral health is often overlooked.
The bacteria in your mouth, they eat that chocolate as well, and they make acids in your mouth, and that's what causes the holes that we call cavities. And so it's really important to understand that when we are eating chocolate, we need to get that acid out of our mouth.
The first line of defense is rinsing your mouth by drinking fluids, especially if you're consuming treats throughout the day.
Water works really good because it doesn't have anything else in it, and so it can help neutralize the mouth pretty quick.
Some prefer tea to help with digestion, but the type you choose is important to avoid staining your teeth.
A good herbal tea would be better because the herbal teas will have some health benefits, and it's better than just plain black tea, I suggest.
In addition to eating balanced meals, there are some light options to avoid overeating.
If you're looking for a quick snack after you've eaten chocolate, eating something maybe like cheese with not very much sugar in it and actually coats your mouth, it may not be a bad idea.
Many will also turn to vitamin options like taking a B-complex supplement to curb cravings by boosting the adrenal system.
Some of my customers' testimony said that they were just able to cut the craving down considerably for chocolate by adding a B-complex.
And other forms of rinsing can aid brushing and flossing.
It might be important to maybe supplement your oral hygiene with maybe a fluoride rinse that you take maybe at night after and then no eating or drinking for half an hour after.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, many athletes throughout the border city are eagerly preparing for baseball season indoors. One way some are working on their skills is through the Bulldogs Baseball Academy, a high-level camp designed to improve players' skills in a short amount of time. Lance Phillips has more.
The Bulldogs Baseball Academy is still working through its first year, and as with any first-year program, there are struggles and victories. The latter is being felt on the field, which is translating into continued strength for the program.
We've grown exponentially from program to program. So we started with 8 guys in October, and now we've expanded to, I'd say, roughly 35, 40 guys.
The academy was established in April 2017 and is quickly gaining ground as the go-to place for players wanting to improve skills with an elite-level coach in Herback South. The concept was developed to assist ball players in this area who can't get on the field for reasons outside their control.
There's talented ball players everywhere in Saskatchewan, but they've only got 3 months to excel at the sport. So for guys in the rural area around Lloydminster, I think it's imperative for guys to excel at baseball and give them a chance to go play at the collegiate or professional level.
It helps me improve my swing, pitching skills, makes me hit the strike zone more, get my other strengths in there to help me out.
I like the pitching and the hitting, and that's pretty much it.
Are you learning lots of stuff?
Yeah.
But the program isn't for the casual baseball fan. It's clearly for those that have a desire to be the best.
This is a program for people who are dedicated and passionate about the sport. So sometimes my methods can be a little firm, but it gets results. And the kids understand that the reason I stay on them is because I care and because it does get results. And there's nothing worse than telling somebody good job when they haven't done anything yet.
And those methods seem to suit players just fine.
It's good. He teaches me lots of stuff, and it's fun.
You think he's making you a better baseball player?
Yeah.
It's been really good. It's been helping me out a lot to prepare for this season. So I just want to keep on working so the season goes well this year.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
This is Newcap Weather with Gerard Lampow.
Well, I did say at the start of it would be a sluggish spring, and it's living up through to form. Admittedly, no one likes it. It's unseasonably cold. It's unacceptably cold, and if there's one person that can rant about it, since I get to bring the details of it, might as well try to change the details by some means, but it is what it is. You've also heard me say that too. Sunshine, blue skies at times, some cloud cover as we put this map into motion there. Yeah, okay, there it goes there. Probably heard me complaining. But you see, the clear sky is winning the battle, honestly. There's some precipitation pushing into parts of southern Alberta from BC there. Pincher Creek are expecting maybe 10 to 15 centimeters. We're not seeing anything like that. For the bulk of it, it looks like blue skies, some cloud cover pushing in from time to time. But that's about it. And pretty much tomorrow morning, what you saw this morning, there's some more of that on tap too. The double minuses winning the battle even in towards tomorrow afternoon for our daytime highs. -10 for ourselves in Barwayne, Maidstone areas, -10 out to Edmonton. Some warmer pockets in the Lakeland, -6 around Cold Lake, Lac La Biche areas, -7 to Bonnyville there, -9 around Provost and Macklin areas there, -6 to Isle Cross. The best of this bunch were envious of Green Lake at their -4, but during the course of winter there, they had some days that they were pretty much on the chill side there. -6 in Meadow Lake. Let's head across the country now, see what we're dealing with in this hour. The back end of this system, +10 in Vancouver, but with the showers, -10 in Edmonton, a mix of sun and cloud there. -1 in Whitehorse, similar skies. -9 in Yellowknife. -12 in Regina. Some of those wind gusts are easing off, but at one point it was around 54 kilometers per hour. And that certainly affected visibility with that blowing snow. -7 snow showers in Winnipeg as we head to Toronto now. A mainly clear evening on the way there from -1, -7 in Quebec, -1 in Halifax, +1 in St. John's there. So some of the warmer pockets making their way there, but overcast skies and snow showers in Iqaluit for their -3. Back on the prairies now, -13, sunny in the Battlefords and area, but it does feel like -24. The winds northwest at about 35 kilometers per hour, -24 towards the early hours of the morning, and with wind gusts anywhere from 15 to 30 kilometers per hour, it will feel closer to -30 at the start of the morning commute, -10 at best during the course of the afternoon. Cold Lake and parts of the Lakeland region now, you're at -10 at the moment. Does feel like -17, -21 in the early hours of the morning. And again, that'll probably feel closer to a -25, -28, -6 at best during the course of the afternoon. So similar again to what you're seeing today. You'll see that again tomorrow. And some of that colder air is sticking around going into the weekend for ourselves in the Midwest region. -11 at the moment, does feel like -20, -22 in the early hours of the morning, and with 15K winds, it'll certainly feel closer to a -28, or if you round it off, maybe even a -30, -10 at best. So again, similar to what we're seeing today there. Thankfully, at least the wind should ease off, not so much in that 30 to 40K range like what we saw today, but maybe closer to about a 10, 15, 25 kilometers per hour there. The next 7 days then, as we head on into this weekend there, -8 Saturday, the wind picking up maybe Saturday afternoon in that 30 to 35, 40K mark, -5 on Sunday, 0 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday seems possible, 0 on Wednesday. With that warm-up, it does come at a price there. A wintry mix seems on tap for Wednesday, and then 0 next Thursday. Brian, it's back to you for Agriculture News.
With increasing varieties of corn becoming available, cattle producers are turning to grazing cattle on corn during the winter months. In this week's Agriculture Report, Gerard Lampow gets some tips ahead of the next growing season.
Using corn silage to save costs during winter is gaining traction among producers. Dr. Bart Ladner from the Western Beef Development Center advises producers to do their research.
But corn is a warm season crop, so I always tell producers to do their homework, do the agronomy, and work with some crop folks that have grown corn in the past.
Ladner explains the growing attraction for corn silage and grazing over winter.
It really is a crop that grows 2.5, 3 times the biomass that our small grain cereals do on less land. And another attraction may be this is a crop that actually exceeds the nutrient requirements of a beef cow in first, second trimester of pregnancy.
Ladner says especially in the cold winter months, there may not be a need to add further energy supplements. To enjoy the benefits of corn next winter, producers need to seed in the spring. Ladner says to use a corn planter, not an air seeder.
Also pay attention to fertility, do a soil test, and make sure that you're getting the correct number of seeds per acre. And then once the crop has emerged, weed pressure is huge. So make sure you're going out there with the proper herbicide, or in many cases it's Roundup Ready, and at least 2 applications to suppress weeds.
Lardner says corn is not a very competitive crop versus weeds until it gets about knee height. Also, corn has a lot of input costs, and he advises producers to start small.
So only grow 5-10 acres to begin with until you feel comfortable that this system's going to work in with your other wintering systems. Could be feeding round bales, it could be bale grazing, it could be stockpile forage, it could be swath grazing.
Weather permitting, some producers in the Midwest will aim to seed their corn by the end of May. Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
And the federal government says it's spending nearly $2 million to help Canadian poultry producers manage disease risks. The money will go toward developing new insurance tools to protect poultry and egg producers against the financial impact of an outbreak of a poultry disease such as avian influenza. Agriculture Minister Lawrence McCauley says such outbreaks can be devastating for poultry farmers' operations and their bottom lines. The government says Canada's poultry farmers generate $3 billion in farm cash receipts, in addition to the $1 billion generated by egg farmers. Poultry processors are credited with almost $8 billion in sales. Now, Canada's soybean producers say China's expanded list of tariffs on U.S. products will cause global disruptions and uncertainty. China retaliated yesterday against U.S. plans to apply tariffs on 106 imports by issuing a list of American goods, including soybeans, whiskey, beef, industrial chemicals, and small aircraft, for possible tariff hikes in the escalating dispute. Soy Canada Executive Director Ron Davidson says the 25% levy on U.S. goods could create some opportunities for Canadian exporters, but also force Canada to defend sales to 69 other countries. Canada sold nearly 5 million tons of soybeans valued at $2.7 billion to China last year. It is the country's largest export market, but Canada is a small player compared with global leaders like Brazil, the U.S., and Argentina.